So we're here today interviewing Aimee Challenor for the Green Party in UK elects 2017. How will you ensure youth issues are represented in Coventry South?
Well, I'm a young candidate myself. I'm only 19. This is my first general election. And I think it's really important that we give more power to young people to have their say, to get involved in politics, which is why I'm supporting things like the Youth Council and coming and asking candidates like me a whole series of questions so that young people are listened to. One of the reasons I got involved in politics was because we're being ignored on a systematic scale. We're seeing 16 and 17-year-olds denied the right to vote. We're seeing the younger age range in voting being vastly ignored by other age groups. You only have to look at the 2015 election results, the EU referendum, to see that young people are voting a completely different way to the rest of the age categories. And I think that by getting involved, we can increase representation. We can hopefully see more younger candidates like myself come forward to stand for election, which in itself will bring further spotlight onto young issues.
What will you do to improve youth participation in politics in the next parliament?
16 and 17-year-olds given the right to vote because they have lots of ideas on how we can take this country forward, how we can stand up for what matters, not just in Coventry South but nationally. And they had the right to vote in the Scottish independence referendum, and I was completely saddened when they were denied the right to vote in the European referendum last year. And I think that it is incredibly important that we listen to the people our policies are going to impact most. And supporting things like the Youth Council, regional democracy, getting young people involved in standing for election at MP level, at councillor level, at regional assembly level for London, Scotland, Wales, Northern Ireland. It's incredibly important that we give young people the right to have their say and empower them to be able to do that through politics and education in schools, part of national curriculum, and increasing the reaching out of candidates like me to actually come out and reach out to youth groups and say, I am your candidate, ask me anything.
Has a real youth unemployment problem, and what do you think you will do differently to make new jobs in the area and make sure people stay here?
And so making new jobs is going to be crucial to getting people to stay here, because if we just make a section of jobs and then people fill those jobs, well, the rest of people can go. So it is about making sure there are new jobs constantly being made. The Green Party recently announced a 4-day working week, which of course we're not a 4-day week country, society. So that allows more people to step up to fill those other days, creating more jobs, allowing more people to get into employment. But then in order to keep this talent here and enable this talent to grow, it's important to make sure those jobs enable people to expand into further roles, managerial, senior positions, so that we're keeping our talent and expanding it, growing it, and making Coventry a great place to live as well as to work, so that people aren't just having to commute in over very expensive rail lines. They're living in Coventry, they're using our facilities, growing and expanding our society.
And why should people who can vote in Coventry South vote for you?
Youth representation, as I said earlier, I'm a 19-year-old candidate, and we've seen the difference young people in Parliament can make. Look at Mary Black, the SNP MP, and she was very widely celebrated across all political backgrounds because of how much she stood up for what matters. And the Green Party is offering the same across England and Wales. We know that we can make a difference, we know that we can actually make changes across society, and I hope that come June the 8th, everyone who is able to vote will vote for this different kind of politics that stands up for the common good and listens to residents and empowers people.
Thank you.